Hold it right there.
What? I'm just leaving.
Yeah, I saw what you did back there. Walk right past those registers.
No, I paid for all this. Everything's in here.
Huh, okay. Sure. Look, I've been doing this for 8 years. I know a booster when I see one.
I'm telling you,
I don't
have
care what you
receipts.
have. Bags, now, and don't move.
But Anthony Rivers wasn't just another customer. Now here's what happened before that moment at the exit. Rivers was 38 years old and worked as a software engineer at TechFlow Solutions. He had spent 15 years building a career in technology. He started as a help desk technician and worked his way up. He earned his bachelor's degree in computer science. Then he got his MBA. He was known for teaching younger workers and leading important projects. Rivers had special training in cybersecurity and data analysis. He had even testified as an expert witness in court cases 3 times before. But on this Black Friday, he wasn't thinking about his job or his credentials. He was thinking about his 10-year-old daughter, Emma. Rivers and Emma's mom were divorced. He wanted to prove he was still an important part of Emma's life. So he saved money, he made a plan, and he came to Megamart to buy her birthday gifts: a television, a laptop, a gaming console, everything a 10-year-old dreams about. Greg Hamilton had a very different story. He worked in loss prevention at Megamart for 8 years. On paper, he looked good, but his file told a different story than what people saw. Hamilton filed 247 incident reports over those 8 years. Sounds like he was really good at catching shoplifters, right? Here's the problem. Only 34 of those 247 reports were actual shoplifting cases. That's just 14%. 213 reports were wrong. People with receipts, people who paid, people who did nothing wrong. But Hamilton kept writing them up anyway. Coworkers noticed something else. Of his 247 reports, 214 involved black customers, 21 involved Latino customers, 12 involved Asian customers, 0 involved white customers. This wasn't random. This wasn't bad luck. This was a pattern. Megamart employees had a nickname for him. They called him the Finder, not because he found shoplifters, but because he always found something suspicious about certain types of customers. Let me know what you think about that in the comments. Did Hamilton ever actually look at the data? Comment below. It was Black Friday, November 29, 2024. The time was 4:15 in the afternoon. Megamart's northeast location was packed. Imagine a massive store with 800 people crammed inside. Every checkout line wrapped around corners. Speakers announced deals. Cash registers beeped constantly. Security guards were watching from every angle. Store management wanted to stop theft during the busiest shopping day of the year. They had extra security everywhere. Anthony Rivers had arrived at 2:15 p.m. He was calm and organized. He had a list. He found each item carefully. He compared prices. He read what things could do. For 2 hours, he waited in checkout lines. At 4:13 p.m., he paid with his credit card, $2,847.23. The cashier handed him receipts, multiple bags with proof of payment. Rivers walked toward the exit. He was 5 feet away from leaving the store. If stories like this matter to you, hit subscribe right now, because this is what we do on Retail Justice Files. We show you what happens when power goes wrong. That's when Greg Hamilton stepped in front of him. "Hold it right there," Hamilton said. "What? I'm just leaving," Rivers replied. "Yeah, I saw what you did back there. You walked right past the registers." "No, I paid for all of this," Rivers said. He held up his bags. "Everything is in here." Hamilton laughed. It wasn't a nice laugh. Okay, sure, look, I've been doing this for 8 years. I know a booster when I see one. I'm telling you, I have receipts. In every bag, I paid with my card," Rivers said. "I don't care what you have. Bags, now, and don't move," Hamilton demanded. "Sir, I'm not handing over my bags. I bought these items. I'm leaving," Rivers said firmly. Hamilton's voice got louder. His face turned red. "You see how you're acting? That's suspicious. That's how shoplifters act." "I'm acting normal," Rivers said. "I'm a customer. I bought things. I'm leaving." "Either you let me check those bags, or you're not leaving," Hamilton said. "I don't consent to that search. I already paid. I have every right to leave," Rivers replied. Then Hamilton made his threat. "You want to make this harder? I will call the cops. We'll see what they say." Something happened next that made people watching uncomfortable. Hamilton started to say something about people like you. He caught himself, but people heard it. They heard what he was about to say. Other customers spoke up. A cashier named Jennifer Martinez stepped forward. She remembered Rivers. She had processed his transaction. "I remember this guy. He waited in my line for 20 minutes. He paid for everything. I gave him receipts, she said. Another customer nearby added, "Yeah, I saw him check out. He definitely paid." But Hamilton didn't care. He wasn't listening. His body language became aggressive. His chest was out. His face was tense. His voice got louder. Customers started pulling out their phones. They sensed something bad was about to happen. They were right. Greg Hamilton reached for his radio. He was calling for backup. Anthony Rivers saw this happening. He turned to walk away. That's when everything changed. Hamilton thought Rivers was trying to escape. "You're not going anywhere," Hamilton said. He stepped in front of Rivers. Rivers tried to move around him. Hamilton grabbed his shoulder. "Get your hands off me," Rivers said. Then Hamilton did it. He tackled Anthony Rivers to the ground from behind. Rivers's head hit the floor tile. The sound was loud. It cracked. 3 different phones captured it. His bags exploded everywhere. Electronics scattered across the store floor. His body crashed so hard his wrist bent backward and snapped. He had a concussion. Blood dripped from a cut on his forehead. "What are you doing? I paid for everything. I have receipts," Rivers yelled from the ground. He was dazed. He was hurt. He was confused. Hamilton was on top of him, one knee pressed into his back. "Stop resisting," Hamilton yelled, but Rivers wasn't resisting. He was already pinned. He couldn't move. "You're under arrest for shoplifting," Hamilton said. Jennifer Martinez ran over. She was still recording on her phone. "Oh my God, he paid for those. I processed his transaction. Sir, he paid. He has receipts," she screamed at Hamilton. Her hands were shaking, but she kept recording. Store manager Derek Johnson arrived about 20 seconds later. He had been in the back office. He saw what happened on the security monitor. He ran to the scene. "Greg, what the hell? That's the guy from my earlier transaction. He paid, Greg, he paid," Johnson said. A customer with her young daughter kept recording too. "This is insane. I watched this man check out. He's got receipts for everything. You just tackled a paying customer in front of his own receipts," she said. Her voice was shaking. 4 different people had their phones out. 5 people if you counted the employee in the break room watching on the security camera. Every angle was being recorded. Hamilton had no idea. The store's security system captured everything. 6 cameras from different angles. Checkout cameras, aisle cameras, exit cameras. Derek Johnson looked at the scattered bags. He grabbed one receipt, then another, and another. Every single item had a receipt. Every receipt showed the same time, 4:13 p.m. "Greg, he was in line the whole time. We watched him. He paid. He has receipts." "You tackled a paying customer," Johnson said. His voice was cold. This wasn't a mistake. It was something much worse. Anthony Rivers lay on the ground in handcuffs. His wrist throbbed. His head pounded. His expensive gifts for his daughter scattered across a megamart floor, and hundreds of people had watched it happen. Police arrived 8 minutes later. Officers Sarah Chen and Marcus Williams took over the scene. They asked questions. They looked at receipts. They reviewed store footage. The case was simple. Anthony Rivers bought items. He checked out normally. He was walking out when tackled. He didn't do anything wrong. Officer Chen pulled up the transaction record. Anthony Rivers, 4:13 p.m., $2,847.23. Payment accepted. No fraud flags, nothing suspicious. She checked the receipt times. 4:13 p.m., every receipt matched. She reviewed store footage. Rivers in the checkout line, Rivers paying with his card, Rivers collecting his bags and receipts, Rivers walking toward the exit. No suspicious behavior, no concealment, no bypassing security. Based on video evidence, witness statements, and transaction records, this was unlawful use of force, Officer Chen said. She documented everything. "Mr. Rivers is not under arrest. Mr. Greg Hamilton is being cited for assault and battery," she announced. Hamilton kept insisting Rivers looked like he was stealing. He said he was just doing his job. He claimed Rivers acted suspicious. When shown the footage, he had no answer, no explanation, nothing. Paramedics took Anthony Rivers to the hospital. X-rays confirmed a fractured wrist, a mild concussion, significant bruising on his back and shoulder. His daughter's birthday gifts were photographed as evidence. Each one had its receipt, the proof of a father's love, now evidence of a security guard's mistake. Store manager Derek Johnson issued a statement immediately. Megamart does not support the actions of this employee. This was an assault on a paying customer, a failure of our security protocols. We are working with police. We will take action. But the damage was already done, because at that exact moment, videos were uploading to the internet. If you haven't subscribed yet, you need to, because what happened next shows why this story matters so much to so many people. By 4:47 p.m., just 32 minutes after the incident, Jennifer Martinez uploaded her video to TikTok. The title was simple: Megamart Security just tackled a paying customer for existing while black on Black Friday. 90 seconds of footage, no edits, just the truth. By 5:15 p.m., the video had 15,000 views. Comments flooded in. The TikTok algorithm was pushing it everywhere in the area, trending, getting bigger. By 6:30 p.m., 187,000 views. Local Reddit groups were sharing it. Twitter users were tagging news stations. By 7:45 p.m., the first news crew arrived. Local station WXYZ sent reporters. The headline appeared on screens across the region: Megamart employee arrested after tackling paying customer on Black Friday. By 10:30 p.m., the video had 1.2 million views across TikTok alone. Instagram, Facebook, Reddit, YouTube, every platform, hashtags were trending: Justice for Rivers, Black Friday racism, Megamart assault. The numbers kept climbing. Twitter saw 340,000 impressions. It was trending number 2 in the entire United States by 8 p.m. Facebook had 2.1 million shares. Reddit posts had 45,000 upvotes. People commented, "This is exactly why people don't feel safe shopping, just existing while black gets you assaulted. Every receipt in every bag, and he still got tackled. What was the security guard expecting?" Megamart hired someone with a track record of racial profiling. That's corporate liability. Major news outlets picked it up. CNN, NBC, Fox News, Washington Post, all covering the story by midnight. The pattern was clear: racial profiling, excessive force, corporate negligence. This story was shared millions of times. Share it if you think others should see this. Comment what you think happened. Megamart issued an official statement quickly. They tried to get ahead of it. "We're deeply troubled. We fired Greg Hamilton immediately. We're reviewing our security protocols. We're implementing new training company-wide. We're reaching out to Mr. Rivers." But firing one person doesn't fix a broken system. On December 2, 2024, 3 days after the incident, Anthony Rivers's attorney filed a lawsuit. His name was James Morrison. He had 20 years of experience suing big companies for discrimination and excessive force. This case was clear. This case was winnable. The lawsuit listed multiple claims: assault and battery, false imprisonment, negligent hiring and retention, racial discrimination, violation of civil rights, emotional distress. When discovery happened, Megamart's internal records got pulled, and what emerged was damning. Hamilton's 247 incident reports over 8 years. The breakdown: 214 involving black customers, 21 involving Latino customers, 12 involving Asian customers, 0 involving white customers. Black customers were 40% of shoppers, but 87% of Hamilton's reports. Email chains between managers. One memo from a district manager in 2022 said, "Greg's numbers are high, but accuracy is low. We should monitor closely." No one did anything about it. The evidence was overwhelming. A trial would expose everything: punitive damages, multiple lawsuits from other customers Hamilton falsely accused, massive damage to Megamart's reputation. Megamart's insurance company started settlement discussions immediately. Wait until you hear what happened next. The settlement: $2.8 million to Anthony Rivers directly, $1.9 million in punitive damages to punish Megamart, $500,000 in legal fees, total $5.2 million, one person, one incident, one failure of a system. For Greg Hamilton, the consequences were severe. Criminal charges filed: assault and battery. He accepted a plea deal: 18 months probation, 40 hours community service, mandatory mental health evaluation, anger management classes, permanent restraining order. He can never enter any Megamart. He can never work in loss prevention again. He was blacklisted from the retail security industry. No other major retailer would hire him. His reputation destroyed. His career ended. Megamart had to change quarterly audits of loss prevention protocols, mandatory implicit bias training for all security staff, new de-escalation procedures. Customers now had rights documented in writing, independent oversight of incident reports quarterly. Anthony Rivers said this in a statement. "I'm grateful the legal system worked, but this shouldn't have happened. I was just buying birthday gifts for my daughter. That someone could assault me without this lawsuit seems wrong. Real change means preventing the next person from going through this." 3 weeks later, on January 15, 2025, Anthony Rivers gave an interview. He sat down on camera. His story was important, not just for money, not for revenge, for something bigger. "That Black Friday changed how I feel about public spaces," he said. My daughter Emma didn't understand why Daddy couldn't take her shopping without being anxious. She had nightmares for 2 weeks. That's what I want people to know. This isn't just about a security guard making a mistake. It's about a child learning that her father isn't safe where he should be safe. Rivers talked about his job. "In cybersecurity, I know how systems fail. I know how patterns show up when nobody pays attention. What happened to me was a system failure. Megamart had data. They could see the pattern. They chose not to act. That's not a mistake, that's a choice." He had a message for workers in retail. You have rights. You don't have to be spoken to badly. You don't have to accept abuse. If your employer creates policies that target people based on race, you can speak up. You can refuse. You can demand better. Lawyers exist. Protections exist. You don't have to just accept this. And for customers, understand your respect is not negotiable. You have rights. Security cannot assault you. Security cannot detain you without reason. You don't have to let them search your bags. Know your rights. Document everything. Speak up when you see wrong. Because I'm not the only person this happened to, I guarantee it. Rivers wanted retailers to understand. Audit your security. Look at your data. If you see patterns, fix them. Train differently. Hold people accountable. The next person might not have resources to fight like I did. The next person might accept less. The next person might just accept that they're not safe. He thanked the people who recorded. "I want to thank the witnesses. I want to thank the police who did their jobs right. I want to thank my attorney. But mostly, I want to thank regular people who saw something wrong and decided to do something." His final words were powerful. A black man shopping shouldn't be exceptional. A system that protects customers should be standard. A company that holds itself accountable should be expected. We're not asking for special treatment. We are asking for basic humanity. That should be the baseline. What Anthony Rivers' case revealed was part of a much bigger problem. A 2023 study found black customers experience security stops at stores at a rate 2.7 times higher than white customers. A 2022 survey showed 67% of retail workers witnessed discriminatory loss prevention practices. Racial profiling in retail remains the #1 source of lawsuits. Since 2020, over 340 verified incidents of racial profiling in retail have been settled. This isn't one bad security guard. This is a system that allows it. So let me ask you, do we actually believe in customer rights, or do we just believe in customer obedience? Do we hold big companies accountable for patterns of discrimination, or do we wait until someone is hurt badly enough to make viral video? Do we change systems, or do we just fire individuals and pretend the problem is solved? Because if we don't audit security practices, if we don't demand data transparency, if we don't hold companies accountable for hiring biased security, then we're just waiting for the next Anthony Rivers, the next person tackled despite receipts, the next child learning that existing while black isn't safe. We're just waiting for the next company calculating that settlements cost less than accountability. Comment below if you believe companies should release demographic data about who gets stopped by security and why. Because you have a right to know. Transparency should be the minimum standard, not the exception. If you think stories like this matter, hit that subscribe button right now. This is what we do on Retail Justice Files. We expose broken systems. We demand accountability. We amplify voices hurt by these systems. We're not stopping. We're just getting started. This isn't just about one security guard or one company. It's about all of us, and the system we are willing to tolerate. See you in the next one.